Why did you want to start a personal training college?
Oh, have to be politically correct. Bottom line is, I'm a PT at the end of the day. That's what I love doing. I love helping people, and having training for over 15 years, I wanted to go to another level where I could help more people. The hard thing for me was, I had about 5 trainers working under me, but I didn't want to run the business side of having 20, 30 trainers under the structure I was under. So I was sort of caught in a hard place. I want to help the masses, but how can I get out there? And that's when the opportunity came up with Good Life, when I went there as a national director. And the reason I took that was, well, now I can have multiple trainers that follow the systems. We can educate them to bring them up to a level I'm happy that the industry should be at. It was down here and I wanted it up here. Yeah. So I had that opportunity to do that. The unfortunate thing was, and the good thing as well, is it got too big for me to control, because we had up to 600, 800 trainers, and I couldn't get them to the level I wanted. So that was sort of another tipping point in my career where I was like, well, I still want to help the masses as a PT, but I was losing my direction with that. And then the opportunity came up where a client supported me to start a college. And the reason we started the college was, from a national view, I got to see the education the guys were coming out to in the industry, and you could see all the pitfalls. Like a lot of the colleges, I was on the board where I got asked and questioned on a yearly basis, what do we need to change in the industry to help us trainers survive for a long period? So for 5 years, it's banging my head against the wall, trying to get that information. We need to correct these phases. But unfortunately, the whole industry is like, well, if no one's going to change, why should we? Because you cut into our profit. So it's like, well, we're all just going to keep cruising until we're sort of told to do it. So that's where my frustration came in. The deal sealer for me was running into trainers a year or 2 years later and seeing the effect of them not surviving in the industry they had, because when you go into personal training, it's a big decision. It's a life-changing decision. You're going to follow something that you're passionate with, and to take the risk, to take the plunge to do that, and to support yourself to do that, and then in a year's time or 2 years' time it fails because the education system hasn't given you enough knowledge. It's really heartbreaking, because a lot of the trainers I ran into kept that failure. They bottled it up and they carried it into every aspect of their life. For me, that's just not on. So that's the reasons and the mentality why the college was born. So we're very in depth. We really don't cut corners, and we've added in those units that you need in the industry to survive. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to swim against the tide and just lift the bar, really. And every time we get challenged by another college that, oh, you're too hard and stuff like that, I love it, because if the students aren't saying I'm too hard, I'm on the right track. But if they're saying I'm too hard, it's fair, because they have to lift their game, and that's what I'm after. So we're trying to, I want to see trainers in the industry 15, 20 years. I don't want to see guys struggling for 2 years and then going out. We're not into that. And it's heartbreaking. Because all those people that they could have helped. So that's sort of the mentality of the
college. The Fitness Success Institute, where did that idea come from? What difficulties were you faced by PTs?
That's another leg to support the college. Like roughly 80% of the jobs on the market are currently, you run your own business, or you go as an apprenticeship, or you run your own franchise or subcontract in a big club, which is a fantastic opportunity. But unfortunately, in the national package currently, there's very, very little on actually how to run a business, like a couple of pages. So what we developed was a 3-day intensive fitness business course on how to run a business. So you cover everything: financial planning, budgeting, how to set up an answering phone, how to communicate with your clients. Sort of covers marketing, sales, absolutely everything. So it's very in depth, and I'm extremely happy with that product to support the trainers. But what I've also realised and learned from experience, it's crammed into 3 days, and then it's like, well, you take it out, and what the hell do I do with it now? How do I apply it all? So what we've come up with is there's a huge gap. There's no one to hold the hands of the trainer on a weekly basis over a prolonged period of time. So you go into the big clubs, you might have a 12-week development program where you get 1 hour a week if you're lucky, but it's like 12 hours in a whole year. So,
You need a bit more than that.
yeah, it's not in depth enough. So what we've developed is a web-based business where over a 12-month period you get webinars every month, every second month, and then every single week you get a development lesson. But it's aimed at getting you to develop and implement that lesson into your business. So if you apply every single step over a year period, you've actually built all the systems for your business. It goes from the most critical sort of and works its way through. The biggest frustrating thing for me about that is I can give everyone the education, but I can't make them apply it. So that's why we've also developed, like, we're moving into BNI meetings to get everybody together, and then what they can do is test and measure each other's results and help each other with results. So it's like a mini master class where you actually get to discuss things. So we're building, so the 12-month business coaching mentoring system is already built, it's already on the market, the Fitness Success Institute. So that's really in depth. And then the next stage to that, after you've done it for about 6 months and you've applied stuff, is you go to Skype meetings, and then you'll get the opportunity to go to BNI meetings and stuff like that. So there's nothing like that in our industry at all to support the trainers on a long period of time, because it takes time to implement and develop things. And if you've got, like, my fear of walking the floor killed my business, because there'd be a day, there'd be 1,000 people on the gym floor in that club, and you'd be talking to yourself all day, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Oh, I'm going to make a phone call. Oh, I'm going to talk to Bob. And all of a sudden you're not doing your business. So you're actually sabotaging your business on a daily basis. So even that, like, mindset and everything, fears, how to overcome fears, is all in there. Because at the end of the day, the most critical thing we've learned is you can be the best with sales and the best with marketing, but if your fears are stopping you from implementing that, you won't go anywhere. So it goes to that in depth all the way through to how to set up a company, how to budget, how to do your taxes, sales, communication, the whole lot.
It's a really good thing to have, especially if it's just new to you, like if you haven't learned institute.
Yeah.
No, that's really good, I think.
Yeah, because you come out of your personal training qualifications, and then you do the right thing, and you don't get the business one. You've got all this massive information. And like we acknowledge with our students at our college, we're very in depth with what we teach, and it's to a very high level. But we also recognise it's going to take you a year to become a good personal trainer by the time you actually implement it all. And that's why the business Success Institute system is built over a year period where you actually get time to apply it, and then there's feedback if you have problems and stuff like that. So
So I guess they grow with you in that 1 year, and I guess you hold their hand all the way through, which is a really good thing to have.
And the aim for that is so we can see you in 15 years.
Well, I guess by the end of it, they will have the confidence, and we'll be able to go out there and I guess you'll see in 15 years. What is your vision for the company?
For the Success Institute, to have trainers successful, really. Like my aim is if I can have every trainer on an average of 30 hours a week, the ones that want to work full time, because there's a lot of trainers using it part-time, 15, 20 hours a week while doing university. But if I could have every trainer doing an average of 30 hours a week at 48 weeks a year, I would be happy, because doing the mathematics, the average price is $65 an hour. That's a good income.
It's very good income.
To help people achieve their goals.
And
it's not a stressful job, personal training, if you're doing a good job. So that's my aim, is to build the systems in depth enough that I can help trainers to do that.